President William Ruto's proposal to reinstate the 16% value-added tax on petroleum products has exposed his doublespeak amid a looming storm. The National Treasury has proposed that from July 1st, the VAT pricing on petroleum products will go up from the current 8% enacted during the tenure of retired President Uhuru Kenyatta. However, during President Ruto's campaigns, he promised to address the high cost of living by fixing heavy taxation on Kenyans, whom he said were being overtaxed. Our very own Magdalene with more.
President Uhuru Kenyatta caved into criticism when he proposed higher taxes on petroleum products just years ago, with his then Deputy William Ruto and his brigades terming the measures as insensitive.
Hii mafuta inaongezwa usiku na mchana. Mimi nataka niwaeleze ya kwamba these people don't understand the damage they are doing to the people and the economy of Kenya. Kwa hii taxes wanaongeza usiku na mchana.
Mr. Kenyatta out of office and Dr. Ruto in State House. The then opposers of higher tax have become some of its most vocal supporters, raising questions on the sincerity of these individuals on matters of national importance.
Huu tunaunda serikali ambayo itabadilisha uchumi na ili iweke pesa kwa mfuko ya mwananchi wa kawaida.
The 2023 Finance Act proposes even higher taxes and levies on ordinary Kenyans.
Unasema watalinda mahasla. Sasa mama mboga ananyanyaswa kwa mboga yake pale mpaka utoe ushuru. Kijana hasla ameanza biashara kidogo hii ya ICT, anatoza ushuru kakubwa zaidi. Wamama ambao wanashuka nywele na kupaka makucha rangi, sasa watatoza ushuru. Wamama sasa hata mambo ya kurembesha hakuna tena. Je, hii ni ungwana? Hii ni ungwana? Tukisema hiyo ni mbaya, tumefanya makosa.
The debate over contentious proposals in the finance bill and the debt burden have put President William Ruto and senior officials in his government on the spot over their past pronouncement and positions. The fresh push to reinstate a 16% value-added tax on petroleum products as well as introduce a housing levy have exposed President Ruto, some of his cabinet secretaries and lawmakers holding key positions in the majority side as masters of double speak. Dr. Ruto and some of the cabinet secretaries who served as MPs in the last parliament strongly opposed the unpopular fuel tax in 2021, forcing then President Uhuru Kenyatta to shelve it and approve 8% instead. Assuming power, Dr. Ruto and his allies have made a U-turn and approved in the cabinet a proposal in the Finance Bill 2023 to subject petroleum products to 16% VAT, up from the current 8%.
We are going to increase the VAT by 8% for two reasons. Number one, because having differential rates, one at 8%, others at 16%, poses a problem, an integrity problem. People use it as a loophole to manipulate numbers. VAT in, VAT out.
This will now be taken through a parliamentary process in what is expected to be an intense debate following public outcry. By implementing these proposals, prices of nearly all goods and services are expected to go up against Dr. Ruto's pre-election promises of bringing down the cost of living.
Mimi nawahakikishia kwamba tutaweka 100 billion kwa mambo ya housing.
Toanisha hizo mahesabu 1.2 million ukidivide by hiyo 18,000 mwalimu anafaa kutoa every year, unapata mwalimu atalipia hiyo nyumba for 66 years. Mimi mwenyewe nikianza kulipa saa hii 66 years, kweli mimi nitakuwa hai? Na hata 66 years hata mwalimu akianza kufundisha akiwa na mwaka mmoja, hiyo 66 atakuwa meritaya, atakuwa naishi wapi? Sisi tunasema walimu tumejipanga.
And if you tell me that it is an investment, then you must tell me what kind of interest am I going to get out of it, so that I can make up my mind whether I want to take my money to the financial market When I want to invest my money, put my money as a deposit in the bank to earn interest. But there must be a choice.
Asking government, because you said you wanted public participation, to pronounce what you are making that public servants must pay the housing levy makes nonsense of the public participation.
Hapa chini, hapa bottom, alafu tuende up. Yani bottom, alafu up. Bottom up.
Mimi nikiwa ndani ya Kericho County, Kipkelion East Chepseon, ninaomba Wakenya msamaha kwa mimi kuwalaghai kuwa mpigie William Ruto kura awe president wa nchi. Nilifikiria angebadilisha uchumi. Badala ya kubadilisha uchumi ni kupandisha kuenda juu. Wakenya, ninaomba msamaha na pia ninaomba Mwenyezi Mungu unisamee kwa mimi kulaghai Wakenya.
Prices of nearly all goods and services have gone up in recent months, including the cost of electricity, fuel and maize flour.
Nimetoka supermarket saizi Naivas ya Tomboya. So nilikuwa nimeenda kuangalia bei ya unga, specifically nimeambiwa na serikali kwamba bei ya unga mfano nini imeshuka. Lakini to my surprise ni kwamba nimeenda kuangalia pale it is 263, 230, the list iko 193. So tunashangaa hii PR yote ni ya nini? Tuambie tu kweli kwamba unga imeshuka 157 na 150, na sisi kama Wakenya tufanye nini? Tuende tununue unga.
Ukienda kwa supermarket mahali ambao nakaa, nakuta unga bado iko 260 na iko 230. Sasa shida yetu ni ya kwamba tunatangaziwa.
Dr. Ruto's allies then backed the petroleum products that sought to reduce VAT on petroleum products from the current 8% to a low of 4%, even as they accused Mr. Kenyatta of burdening Kenyans in more taxes. The bill was introduced by the National Assembly's Finance and National Planning Committee, then chaired by MP Gladys Wanga, following 2 petitions to the House. Dr. Ruto would on April 5th, 2022, call a press conference at his current official residence to demand passage of the bill following delays by the House to consider. Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale, who was then Garissa Town MP, had also during the campaign written to then Speaker of the National Assembly Justin Muturi, protesting delays to have the bill processed by the House. Cabinet Secretaries Duale, Kipchumba Murkomen, Kithure Kindiki, Moses Kuria, Mithika Linturi, Aisha Juma and Alice Wahome were some of the Ruto's allies who were vocal in rejecting the fuel tax in the last parliament. But when the proposal to reinstate the controversial fuel tax was recently brought to the cabinet by the National Treasury, they collectively approved it, exposing them as masters in the art of political doublespeak on issues of national interest.
Mpango wetu wa uchumi ni kuinua walio chini kuwaleta juu. Tunaanza chini tukienda juu.
National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, Budget Committee Chairman Ndindi Nyoro and his Finance and National Planning counterpart Kuria Kimani are expected to marshal members in the House to support the high fuel taxes despite being at the forefront in rejecting it during Mr. Kenyatta's administration.
Government does not lose, even when it's unpopular, but it will not lose. With the fact that government does not lose, I also want to assure you that even the finance bill will pass. Government does not lose.
Mr. Kimani was one of the members of the Finance Committee who introduced the bill to the House. The committee, in its report tabled on December 2nd, 2021, recommended to the House to approve the bill that sought to reduce VAT to 4%. Some of the current top government officials had also rejected a 15% housing levy proposed in 2019, but are now banking a 3% monthly deduction towards housing. Some of the current top government officials had also rejected a 1.5% housing levy proposed in 2019, but are now banking a 3% monthly deduction towards housing.
There are some proposals which we think are extremely harmful, but in the event that our objections to the various proposals that are contained in the Finance Act are overlooked by Parliament or are not given the seriousness that they deserve, we will consider them at that particular time and take the necessary action.
Huu tunaunda serikali ambayo itabadilisha uchumi na ili iweke pesa kwa mfuko ya mwananchi wa kawaida.
For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, my name is Magdalene Nekesa.